Catch your breath yet? After a wild opening night of upsets and thrillers, Week 2 boasts rivalries and top 10 showdowns in the Chattahoochee Valley. The Alabama boys tee it up for the first time in 2017 as Central and Auburn host top 10 opponents, while Lanett and Valley renew their rivalry. Calvary Christian and Glenwood face off for the second time ever, looking to repeat their thriller from a year ago. Carver looks to bounce back from heartbreak in Harris County against rival Spencer, who look for their first win in the rivalry since 1998. It's the Tigers and the Green Wave in the 55th Annual Heritage Bowl in our Friday Night Tailgate Game of the Week. The preview is next. I'll ask you again, have you caught your breath after last week's games? What's up and what's good, everybody? I'm Jack Patterson, welcoming you to Week 2 of the PrepZone Preview. This week has several matchups that have the potential to steal the show tonight on the News 3 PrepZone. We start over in Alabama, where this week many teams are kicking off their regular season schedule, and ladies and gentlemen, there is absolutely no warming up in the bullpen at all. We'll kick things off in 7A with the Central Red Devils. Another outstanding season came up one game short last year as the Red Devils fell to McGill-Tulane in the Class 7A semifinals for the second year in a row. Head coach Jamie DeBose goes into year 4 under the helm with 3 Region 2 7A titles under his belt and a phenomenal 17-1 region record under his helm. Central returns 11 starters from last year's team, including 5-star wide receiver Justin Ross. He's one of the top recruits in the state of Alabama. His top 5 recruiting schools, all in the top 15 in the AP poll. Gives you an idea where he's going to play in the next level. The Red Devils will start this season as the number 2 team in the Class 7A poll by the ASWA. Their opening night opponent will be Bob Jones out of Madison, around Huntsville in the North Alabama area. By the way, the Patriots, they start this season as the number 8 team in Class 7A. Like I said, no warming up in the bullpen. Next, we take a trip up 280 and hang the left on 85 South. We're going to Auburn, where the Tigers are getting set to open their season at Duck Sanford Stadium. The Tigers are led by head coach Adam Winegarden, his 3rd season on the Plains. Auburn's made the playoffs in each of the last 2 seasons under Winegarden, but haven't made it past the second round. However, going into this year, both the coach and the players say that team cohesiveness is the key for this experienced team. They come into 2017 ranked 9th in the Class 7A polls and will start their season with Carver-Montgomery, a 6A team who was a playoff team last year, but they ran the Spanish Fort in the first round and was eliminated. I mentioned at the top of the show, we have rivalry games aplenty this week. We head up to Chambers County, where Lanett and Valley will face off at the Valley Sportsplex tonight. The storyline of this game, pretty simple. You have one team looking to make a return to the playoffs in the Valley Rams. Meanwhile, Lanett looks to build off of last year's success, which found them 1 game away from the 2A state championship game. We'll start with Valley first. Head coach Bradley Lowe heads into his 2nd season at Valley, looking to bounce back from a rough 1-9 season that saw the Rams lose 7 games by 20 points or more. Valley looks to also exact some revenge on Lanett, who snapped the Rams' 6-game win streak in the rivalry last season. Over in Lanett, Clifford Story has a great thing going with the Panthers, who went 11-3 last season, losing to eventual 2A state champion Fife in the 2A semifinals. Lanett was an offensive juggernaut in every sense of the word last season, putting up a school record 630 points, averaging 45 points a game, and scoring over 40 points 9 times last year. They only played 14 games. The Panthers will start the 2017 season as the number 3 team in Class 2A. Our second rivalry preview is a bi-city matchup as Glenwood hosts Calvary Christian. This is a new rivalry. It's only their 2nd matchup between the two. These 2 teams, along with Lee Scott Academy and Auburn, formed a trio of games last year where they all played each other in kind of a round-robin kind of deal. These 2 teams played an absolute thriller last season. The game ended with head coach Jason Gibson getting his first Glenwood win, a 22-17 final. That win would propel Glenwood to an 8-4 record in a season that ended with a trip to the AISA semifinals and a top 10 ranking. The Glenwood Gators started their season ranked 5th in the AISA polls by the ASWA and started their season last week at Montgomery, where they fell to Morgan Academy. As for Calvary Christian, they took some bumps and bruises last year, playing a tougher schedule than they had in the past. They finished 5-6, falling in the first round of the playoffs in double overtime. However, the Knights kicked off 2017 in style last week, dispatching Johnson Ferry at home 38-12. This game will be huge for both teams in the rivalry that they're setting up with Lee Scott. They both play Lee Scott in the next 2 weeks. And now we go to our Friday Night Tailgate Game of the Week. And in the city of Columbus, it gets no bigger than this one. Carver and Spencer have been playing each other 54 times. The 55th edition on Friday night has the potential to be one of the most memorable ever. Carver is coming into this game looking to bounce back after a heartbreaking double overtime 1-point loss in Harris County last week, and what is sure to be one of the games of the year when it's all said and done with. That was my game last week. I was there last Friday night, and the one thing that the Tigers have is speed. Their wide receivers and running backs have the acceleration to turn a basic run or screen pass into a 40-yard touchdown. Just ask Kobe Cunningham, he did it last week. As for Spencer, this will be their season opener after having a bye last week. Spencer is coming off their second straight playoff appearance under Pierre Coffey. The Green Wave have had great success in the last 2 years, finishing tied for second in 5AA last year, but fell to fourth by tiebreakers. The one thing Spencer has not had success with in the last couple of years, however, is their matchups with Carver. The Green Wave have not won a game in the Heritage Bowl since 1998. That is one stat that Spencer is looking to change on Friday night. And Carver versus Spencer in the 55th Annual Heritage Bowl, our Friday Night Tailgate Game of the Week. Of course it is. Join Nally Pellicetti and our entire team at A.J. McClung Memorial Stadium starting at 5 p.m. Eastern Time on News 3 First Edition. And after all the games are done, come on back. Join us for the Prep Zone at 11:15, 10:15 Central on News 3 and WRBL.com. Brendan Robertson and Nally Pellicetti will run down all the scores and highlights across the Chattahoochee Valley. As for me, that's going to just about do it. You can follow me on Twitter at JPattersonTV. I'll be tweeting updates from the games I'm covering. I'll be at Villa Rica and LaGrange at Callaway Stadium, and I'll also be at the Valley Sportsplex for the rivalry game between Lanett and Valley. You can also follow the sports team at WRBL Sports on Twitter. You can get updates from the games we're covering from all the shooters that are out covering games across the Chattahoochee Valley. So make sure you have that on your Twitter profile. Until then, go out and enjoy the games. We'll see you next week right here for week 3 of the News 3 PrepZone Preview. We'll see you later.